So I'm gonna need the sun to come and make an appearance real quick, because she knows full well that I rely very heavily on natural lighting to film these videos, yet she always just seems to sense the days when I want to film and it's just like, nope, nope, I'm hiding, I'm not coming out. Guess who's back? Back again with a tutorial. Tell your friends. Hello people, welcome back, and yes, you heard correctly, today I do have a tutorial for you, finally! So I got a couple of requests to do a Valentine's Day look, and I couldn't really think of anything to do, so I just kind of pulled all my makeup out one day and I was just playing around with it to see what I could come up with, and the first thing I came up with was a black smoky eye, so I think that says quite a lot about me, if I'm honest. So yeah, today I actually have two tutorials for you. This half of my face, I'm going to be doing the traditional fresh, flirty Valentine's Day look. And then on this side of my face, I'm going to be doing a vampy, smoky, kind of anti-Valentine's Day look. For all those of you out there, such as myself, who were just like, boy, bye. Bye, Felicia. I need you. There's the door. If you would like to see either of these looks, please keep them watching. I can put in the description box like the minutes of where each one starts if you just want to watch one or you just want to watch the other. I mean, I would appreciate it if you watch both, but I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. You just do you. So starting with the traditional Valentine's Day side, I'm taking True Brown K liner from Kylie Cosmetics and I'm using that to draw out the initial shape of my cut crease. I also forgot to mention that my base makeup is completely done. On my Valentine's Day side, I've contoured underneath my foundation for a softer look, and my Anti-Valentines I've contoured on top, so it's more striking and dramatic. Next, I'm taking ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Beverly. This is from the K-pop collection with Karuchi, right, however it is that you pronounce that, and I'm just using that as my first crease colour to begin blending out that liner. To diffuse those edges even more, I'm taking Maroon Matte Loose Eyeshadow from StarCrushed Minerals, and I'm just buffing that very lightly over the top of that Beverly eyeshadow. Next, picking up this dark brown purpley-ish shade from the Makeup Revolution Fortune Favours the Brave palette, I'm just using this to add further depth into my crease. You don't want to blend this colour up too high into the crease, otherwise it could overpower the eye, and that's not the look we're going for. Next, hopping over to the Makeup Revolution Makeup Geek palette, I'm taking the darkest matte brown in that palette on a pencil brush and going right up against the crease line to add definition. And then without adding any additional product, I'm just going back in with all of my blending brushes to blend out my crease to make sure everything is soft and diffused. Lastly, taking this skin tone shade, this is Guilt Trip by NYX. I'm just lightly buffing that over the edges of my crease to make sure everything blends perfectly into my skin and there are no harsh edges. And then I'm just taking a skin tone concealer just to cut my crease. You would have seen me do this before in my Christmas tutorial and I think my Power of Makeup tutorial. I probably put a card up in the corner, so if you're interested you can just click those and watch those after you finish watching this tutorial, of course. So yeah, after I've cut my crease exactly how I want it, I'm just going to fill in the entire lid space with that concealer, and then off camera I'm going to set that with some translucent powder because we're not going to be filling in this area with any eyeshadows. And quickly going back in with that pencil brush just to redefine that line. Now going in with the Maybelline gel liner in brown on an angled brush and just drawing a big ass wing. As you've noticed, I haven't actually used any black in this tutorial. I just thought because I wanted it to be soft and flirty, using any black would just be a little bit too harsh, but using this dark brown would still kind of give it the definition that I wanted. So once I've drawn my wing, I'm actually not going to bring this brown any further onto my eyelid because I wanted to go for like an ombre liner kind of thing. So I'm taking this pigment from Inglot and adding in a drop of Inglot Duraline, and I'm going to use that to draw in the rest of my wing. This pigment's like a brown base with pink glitter in it, so when I apply it, because obviously my skin is brown, you don't really see the brown in it, you just see the glitter and it just looks gorgeous. I'm now tightlining my waterline and lower lash line with that same True Brown K liner, and then I'm going to go in with my blending brushes just to lightly diffuse it on the lower lash line. Once I'd done this, I then decided that it just wasn't quite dark enough for me, so I actually went into my waterline with that same gel liner from Maybelline just to define my eyes slightly more. I didn't want it to be too much that it overpowered the top, but just so that it was slightly even, I wanted a little bit of definition on my lower lash line. And once I've done this, I'm just going to apply mascara and lashes off camera. Now I know you can't see this very well because that highlight is just too blinding, but I'm taking the NYX Eye Studio liquid liner, and just for a cute little twist, I decided to draw a tiny little heart onto the end of my winged liner, and instead of just drawing it flat onto it, I wanted it to kind of look like it was hooked around the wing. You'll see it in a second. And to complete the look, I just felt like I needed something else in that kind of pastel pink to tie in with the heart. So I'm just taking a tiny round gem. This is actually a nail art gem. Just with some eyelash glue and some tweezers, and I'm just popping that into my inner corner. Now because this eye look is so neutral, you could literally do any kind of lip with it. You could keep it nude, you could go for like a classic Valentine's red. I decided to go for this bright ass pink. This is ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in Bad Habit, just because I have it lying around and I never use it. Now moving on to my Anti-Valentines side, taking the grey in this huge Makeup Revolution palette. This is just going to act as the transition shade for this look. I wanted to keep it all very cool tone, just to represent the lack of love in my heart. Now going into my crease with StarCrushed Minerals Audacious Plum, which I ended up spilling all over my bed right after I finished filming this. Honestly, why are loose eyeshadows even a thing? They are such an inconvenience. Now just going back in with the grey to blend that all out. Now taking the Maybelline gel liner in black this time, and I'm just going to spread that roughly all over my eyelid. This is just going to act as a base for the eyeshadows that are going to come next. Or the one eyeshadow, because it's just going to be black. Now taking the black from the Too Faced Power of Makeup palette, I'm just going to pack that all over my lid, then use the edge of the brush to bring that slightly up into my crease, then off camera just going to blend it out and take that same skin tone shade to diffuse all of my edges. Now I'm tightlining this waterline with the Makeup Forever Aqua Eyes pencil in black. Then I'm going to take a pencil brush with that same black eyeshadow to set that, and then my other two brushes just to blend that out and make it really, really smoky. And while Camera Me is doing that, I'm just going to talk for a second because I'm trying out a new foundation in this video. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I'd heard loads of stuff about it, but this was the first time I'd ever seen it in stores in a shade that wasn't beige, so I kind of just picked it up like for the novelty of it, and I don't really know how I feel about it. I feel like the undertone is a bit warm, like it looks a bit red on my skin, and it doesn't look as perfect as I was hoping it was going to be. Like, what do you guys think? And now for the fun part, because what would any dramatic look be without graphic liner? I'm taking the NYX Vivid Brights liner in the shade Vivid Fire, which is just bright, bright as pink. And I'm going to start off by just drawing a regular wing. Then from the inner corner, I'm going to take that up into my crease and wing it out from there. You can't really see what I'm doing that clearly, and it's not very neat, so I'm probably just going to neaten this up off camera and then come back. I don't know why I'm saying probably as if I don't already know that that's exactly what I've done. But anyway, next I'm taking the Collection Glam Crystals glitter liner in the shade Dancing Queen, and I'm just going to go right over top of all of that liner because I felt like my face in general was just lacking glitter. Then going back in with that NYX liner and just drawing some random pink freckles on the side of my face because why not? And then I'm going to repeat that with some white liquid liner. This is also from NYX. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I've actually kind of blended out the edge of that liner so it's not so harsh and it's kind of like a glitter gradient into the freckles. And then I'm going to take this dark liquid lipstick from LA Splash to add in a few more freckles. I've also added mascara and lashes. These lashes are from Pink River London, and I actually have a discount code that you can use for 15% off all purchases. Exciting stuff. And for lips, the closest thing I had to black was this really dark purple from NYX. This is the Liquid Suede liquid lipstick in oh, put it on, and that is exactly what I'm doing. That pretty much concludes both of these looks. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have and decide to recreate either of these looks, tag me on social media. I want to see if you can do it better than me.